You're listening to Lexington Steele Live with Lexington Steele and Gianna Michaels, right here on LA Talk Radio.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? This is your main man, Lex Steele. It is April 20th. Now, for people out there in the wonderful world of the United States of America and beyond, okay, first and foremost, I said it's April 20th. Now, let's understand the significance of that illustrious date. For those of you that are purveyors of cannabis or purveyors of fine Mary Jane, herbs, greeneries, certain states throughout our great union have embraced the therapeutic benefits of the enchanting marijuana. It is indeed April 20th, which is a day of celebration of the marijuana plant, also known as hemp. And of course, there are many significant historical usage for hemp paper, which would include the American Constitution. So look that up. You can smoke it. I wouldn't suggest it. You probably would not make it outside of that particular museum, wherever it might rest. So look, ladies and gentlemen, tonight we are without my illustrious co-host, Gianna Michaels, but with us in her stead is my good friend, the wonderful, legendary Devin DeRay.
Hello there.
What up? Yo, look, like, me and this girl talk all the time, and I've been telling her, like, yo, you need to come live on the air. And so she's finally chosen to give me the chance to enjoy her blessed appearance on the Lex Live show. Now, to her immediate right is a man that, if you've watched porno certainly enough within my career, then you know this man very well. This is a man that I went shoulder to shoulder with for years. Me and John have probably had have shared a lot more beautiful women than most guys watching the show can count combined. And John has just won an award recently last week. The X-Rated Critics, XRCO, where you won Best Unsung Swordsman.
Yes.
Now, for people that, look, an unsung swordsman is not to take anything away from John Strong. It is to say that this is a guy who is literally an Iron Man. If you look at the fact that, if you look at the amount of work John has put in, I know, John, you're probably well over, are you in the thousands at this point of scenes? Easily. Now, to his right, I have this young lady that I had the wonderful opportunity to work with just last week.
Yes, very recently.
Oh, my God. Chrissy Stevens.
Yes.
I enjoyed our work together.
I did too.
Really?
Yes.
Man, let me tell you something. I'm not going to go into it. We'll get into it a little bit farther. I just keep looking. people. It
you
is
are
a Lex
kind
Live
of being
show.
Inappropriate with her breasts.
No, I'm not. It's not being inappropriate because you know something. People are watching and they're thinking the same thing that I'm thinking right now. John's trying so hard not to look down. Every now and again he's taking a peek
I know
at the boobies.
He's being so well behaved, and you're like, yes.
But hey, we're gonna be gentlemen as best we can be.
As best we can.
Devin, what's up with you? People, look now. We're live, okay?
Live.
And people call in 818-570-5085. I don't know what you're doing right now. There's certainly enough. There's NBA players, as I believe. But there's no Monday Night Football. There's nothing on television. Empire is done for the season. Power is about to start. Where else are you going to be? You're going to be right here. Netflix, obviously you got Netflix. We got Triple X Flix right here. So, Devin, where have you, tell us a little bit about what you've been up to. It's been a minute since we've seen you on film. Tell us where, what's been going on.
Well, I always think it's funny when people say, "Oh, you're back," or "I thought you retired." I don't know that anyone really retires from porn. You don't get a pension or a watch or anything that comes with it.
We quit.
Right? But I never even really did that. As you know, I always have a long span between scenes. I started in the mid-'90s and have always been around. I just don't shoot consistently, and I come and go, but I never go away. So
yeah,
I've been around.
Yeah.
Just we talk all the time.
No, I know we talk all the time, but
people
out there don't get a chance to see you. And some of the now, do you by chance, are people able to follow you or track you on clips for sale, social media? What's anything that they could still get?
My Twitter is at Devin DeRay1.
Okay, there we are.
And I do not have a Facebook or any other social networking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in case people want to start following everybody in this room, social medias before we get started tonight.
Yes, I'm at johnstrong. Whatever. It's just at John Strong, I guess, with 2 N's, because I got Twitter apparently way too late.
Yeah.
Because people were telling me, get it. I said, well, what does a guy need Twitter for? And then said, no, get it. So finally I got it like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
And somebody already took John Strong XXX. So
I know I tried to follow you before, and I was like, wait, I don't think that's his
yeah,
real...
right. So I had to do the double N, John Strong with 2 N's.
Okay.
So it's JOHNNSTRONG.
Okay, got it.
Well, the same thing kind of happened with me. Even though I got mine a few years ago, Christy Stevens was a pretty normal name.
Yeah.
So like
everything,
everything was taken. So my Twitter and Instagram are at I Love Christy, and it's spelled ILUVCHRISTIE.
Wow. Okay.
Very
Now,
nice.
I don't know what year it was that Devin, I saw you in the Seymour Butts title with Tom Byron.
You did.
And Shawn Michaels and.
Well, he wasn't. Sean wasn't in
Shawn
it.
wasn't. Okay. And who was? Did they have a contract girl at that moment? Who was the other girl in that scene?
Well, there was only Tom and I in our scene.
Yeah, I remember that. Of course, I remember our stuff too. And John, what year did you start in the industry?
I started in '98.
So I was saying we started the same
Yeah.
year. And Christy, what year did you start?
Late 2011.
All right, so in '98, you were probably like running around in preschool or grade school.
No, not quite. No.
You're in middle school. Okay.
Yeah, actually.
yeah, right.
You're such a pervert.
No, I started.
The suggestion was not.
I started the industry when I was 25.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Now, okay, starting at 25, had you watched a lot of adult media before getting into movies?
I had watched some, but
Just a little?
yeah, not a whole lot, but here and there. I was a stripper in college too, so I was definitely, not a newbie to
You were
that.
you were in the
kind of-
game.
Yeah.
In the game, okay.
How do you feel that being 25 and starting has been different for you than for the girls that are maybe starting at 18 or even in high school thinking this is what I'm going to do as soon as I turn 18 years old?
Well, I do feel like I had the benefit of, a college degree. I have my bachelor's degree, and I'm definitely glad I got out all my fun partying time before I got into this industry. Because if I had had that kind of access that young,
energy, yeah.
I'm glad I
And then the money too.
Yeah,
that comes
exactly.
With the fast
so I'm
money
glad I had my head on straight before I got involved. But I did miss out on that teen market. I mean, I already had boobs and everything when I started, which isn't a bad thing, but it is an entire genre that I didn't get to.
Yeah, but okay, so you're saying that you feel that you missed out on the young girl market, that you would have got. Okay, now let me ask you this, and this is somewhat in line with what you brought up, Devin. In terms of the age thing, do you feel that perhaps producers and John, you're a director and producer as well. Do you feel that the qualifications for MILF is getting younger and younger, such that, Chrissy, have you ever been asked to perform? And I do ask both of you to, certainly enough to address this camera as well. People want to look at you guys as I speak to them. Have you been asked to do MILF already?
Yes.
Lots
of
so tell us
MILF
about that.
stuff.
How does that feel? Like, oh, man. Like,
I mean, I'm 28, and I think there's a lot of different kinds of MILF. Like, you have your baby MILFs. There are, like, 23-year-olds who get put in MILF roles.
Yeah.
And I think it's just anyone who has boobs can play a MILF. Doesn't make them a MILF. It's just a MILF scene. To me, it's just another scene, and it's such a popular category, and I think there's a lack of really good MILFs in the industry right now that they're just pushing anyone they can for those kind of scenes. But I try to look at it as...
but don't you feel that... Do you really feel that the MILFs ran out? The quantity?
No.
The quality, I believe, is there.
The quality is there, but I mean...
Numbers-wise, you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
But just how many... Like, because how many MILF scenes there are because it's so popular. They need more girls to fill in those roles, even though they're kind of younger. I mean, I don't have kids, and I'm only 28. Yeah. It doesn't bother me. I just consider it another scene.
No doubt.
Like, I just go in and perform a hot scene.
Well,
do you think you would still be in the industry had you started when you were 18 or 19?
Oh, I have actually, I think I would. I love it. I really love it. I would.
Well, now, John, have you shot when have you been directing or have you directed MILF titles before?
Yes.
So what's generally do you have a cutoff or like how do you, when you cast?
Well, usually I go by the look, like Christy said, I mean, some girls, they're younger, but they could pass for a MILF and I'll cast them. Or some girls are older, but they still don't look like a MILF. So I think it's more about the look rather than the age.
Yeah. Why don't we just make a category young MILF and super MILF?
Right, there you go. That makes
sense.
sense.
It's more
the
to
micro
describe,
genre.
like what Chrissy said, it's not so much more to describe a woman at a certain age, but with the teen market, the more narrow hips, the flatter chest, I think MILF, that category lets people know you're going to be seeing a movie with a woman with curves or who is not in the teen market, because for a while that was almost all you saw, and I think that's almost all guys expected to see, right? When that hit the scene. So
the pixie look, the small girl, the petite look, right?
Yeah. So when you get a MILF movie, you're not going to see.
Well, I think with MILF,
look.
it's been a broad genre, a broad spread, a broad palette, if you will, of size, from the smaller girl, all the way up to the buxom.
Do you find that many
within MILF? Yeah, I mean, there's teeny MILFs.
Really?
And then there's super MILFs.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Okay.
I'm a big It's funny, John. When I speak about MILFs, it's funny because I look at it as a genre, but most of the girls that are MILFs are either my age or slightly younger.
Oh yeah.
So I'm like, but I understand where people are like, oh, I'm like, man, like she's the same age as me.
Have either of you, John or Lex, had that moment where you're shooting a girl that's much younger who asks you if you've ever performed, where you're directing and a girl says, have you ever performed or have you ever thought about doing it?
Yes.
And they have
No, that's true.
Vince Boyer had told me, he goes, it's so weird to shoot somebody and they're asking me like, well, why haven't you ever done scenes or do you think about it? And he's like, girl, if only you knew.
No, when that happens, I usually play it cool, because, I mean, honestly, if you don't watch movies, you don't watch, if a girl doesn't watch movies, she doesn't watch movies. So it wouldn't, so it doesn't bother me. But what happens is, so I'll be like, I'll sit back in the cut, right, and I'll let everybody else in the room fucking murder her, right? Because I'll sit back and be like, and then everybody else will be like, oh my God, what have you been living under a rock? And I just say like, hey, go easy on her. She's new. She's about to experience it anyway. So what does it matter, right? It's about to happen. It's going down. It's too late.
Oh, wow.
It's too late to turn back now.
Past the point of no return.
Oh my God! See what I'm saying? You got me singing over here. I can't. It's 420.
It's 420.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to sing and.
You gonna roll one after the show?
No, you know what? You didn't mention something really important about 420.
What's that?
You didn't pay homage to the dime bag of dirt wheat that got so many people through high school and college.
The dime bag of dirt weed.
Yeah.
Yo, we used to call that chocolate back in the day,
before
man.
all the Kush and the R2D2 and all this stuff,
Yeah.
the dime bag of dirt weed did a lot for a lot of people back in the day.
It got you through.
It got you through. It was struggle, but it got you through.
Now, along the lines of the age thing that Devin you brought up earlier, my guest John and Chrissy, do you feel that while there's no age limit other than 18, do you feel that perhaps there should be an increase of age limit minimally for the females, maybe 18 to 21, by way of suggestion?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
You don't think that? Sorry, what was the question?
I'm saying, do you think there should be a minimum age employed, whereas it's 18 now? Do you think perhaps it should be maybe the suggestion is maybe it should be size 21 for performance?
No, I mean, once you're an adult, I mean, you can make your own choices. 18, yeah.
I think so too. You know, especially girls, they seem to mature a lot faster than boys.
Okay, now compare that to when you started. Now, when you started, there really wasn't so much access to adult media. Now, what I found, I'm sure you can agree, over the years that we've worked, I mean, ourselves, John and I are in our 17th year, no less. Wouldn't you say that you're seeing girls that are 18, 19, that an 18, 19-year-old when we started did not come in at a skill set that we're seeing 18, 19s coming in at? So I'm saying that if girls are starting so much sooner, I think that maybe they are more ready at 18. But there's a reason for that. And I don't think it's because just because they're now adults at 18. I think it's because they've been watching porno so much that by the time they get the movies, they're mastering this shit.
They've already done it.
Is there something remiss about that?
Well, I think the economy might have had something to do with that. Going back to 2008, I was a dancer then when all that
bottom
hit.
pretty much was starting.
Yeah, and a lot more girls and a lot more people started, getting into that industry, whether it be dancing or adult. I think it became a lot more acceptable because
as an option.
Yeah.
Right.
Definitely.
Well, do you find then that around that time period, because obviously 2008, 2009, 2010 is really when you saw, studios really take an impact, including my own Mercenary Pictures. It was almost like if you were a dancer, now you incorporated movies. If you were just a movie performer, then you began dancing. When girls began doing things away from camera. And even guys started doing things away from camera that they weren't doing prior to that. Do you think as performers, including us all, has there been any change? I mean, have we, is there a return to any sort of financial comfort? I mean, are we still, is it still a struggle?
Not in the way that there was before, but
when everybody was balling, pre-2009
that's not
or
going
so.
to happen in that way before. And I think there's a lot of people in the industry. I mean, it's easy for me to say, grandma on the fringe, but from what I see, not just in porn, but in any industry, you have to evolve and find ways to make it work for you as the present reality, instead of sitting back and wishing it were 5 or 10 years ago.
Right.
And I see a lot of people wishing for the old days or blaming this or that politician.
So it's almost necessary to reconfigure
you have
your
to reconfigure,
perspective.
and you'll survive. That's what survival depends on. Addressing the present reality and adapting to that, instead of being sure that the optimal result is certainly going to happen if you just want it to happen bad enough. Cam girls tend to do really well. I know a lot of people that have found ways to make it work for themselves.
So it's not only the only way to make money is not necessarily the tried and true method of owning your own studio. There's a myriad of ways to generate revenues in this industry.
And porn, I think, used to draw a lot of people that thought, hey, this is great. I can do a couple scenes, make a bunch of money, lay out in the sun and do whatever. And now you do have to hustle. You do have to work. Girls do have to treat it as a business if they want, and guys, if they want it to work for them, where it wasn't necessarily like that before. You could be lazy.
Well, and coming in 3.5 years ago, or 4 years ago, was right when everyone said, oh, the porn industry is going to shit, basically. You're never going to make it. You're not going to make any money. Well, here I still am with a career, making money, getting shoots on a regular basis. So, I mean, I wasn't there. Everyone says, oh, you should have been here when it was so good. But, I mean, it's still pretty good to me. It may not be what it was. I wish I could have been there for that.
Let me tell you something.
I'm still making money. I'm like webcam, things like that.
You know about to say, John, man. Like, being between like 98 and up to about 04, 05. Literally, I can't speak for women, right, John? But as a dude, you literally could work 3 times a day,
Absolutely.
7 days a week.
Yes.
All over the world too. You guys used to travel
Oh,
all
yeah,
over the world,
man.
just
Wow.
fucking. They were all over the world. I
Yes.
mean, oh my gosh, Anabolic used to have you guys doing the behind the scenes,
my
like, oh, here
God.
we're in Prague, here we're in
Yeah.
Budapest. Yeah, all over the world, just sticking your dicks in things.
Yeah,
One of
and
the
then,
best times.
you know what fucked it up? In all honesty, it wasn't anything about shooting in Europe. It was the euro. The emergence of the euro, like, destroyed everybody's whole budget as far as shooting in Europe, because the dollar never competed with the euro, and the girls were like, "No, you got to pay us in euro." They didn't want. It was a big deal, right, to give them the $100
after a
bill,
while,
right?
yeah.
Then they come back next year, they're like, no, this, the euro was, at a higher value than the dollar, and has remained such as I believe, but that ruined it. That's why we never went back. Not for any other reason.
Well, we don't mind over here.
Yeah,
Well,
there
no-
was a time where people were, after the Euro girls really came on the scene, people were like, man, I don't want to shoot the American girls anymore right now. They
Yeah.
just got so spoiled doing the scenes with the Euro girls because it was game on. They were good to go.
And then increasingly such, we've seen a lot more of the guys from Europe. Now you're originally, you've always been here. Did you move to the United States?
Yeah, I moved here when I was a kid.
You were a kid, okay.
Yes, yes.
And where are you from originally? Okay. Now I know that, but they didn't know that.
Right.
All right. So
I did not
now,
know Russia.
when you see the guys, we've seen a lot of guys come in from Europe and do very, very well. A lot of them have had years of experience before they arrive in the United States.
Right.
Here, do you think that while those Euro guys came in immediately, whether it's Tony Ribas, obviously Manuel Ferrara, Steve Holmes, the list goes on.
Rocco's the Freddy.
Well, Rocco's the killer. He's like Mike. Rocco's in a different. That's like Muhammad Ali. But when we see these guys come in, do you think, John, that there is? Does the industry create male stars, or do male stars, break their own stones and then create their own, or is it possible? Does the industry seek to make male stars like they can create a female star?
Well, I think for a male performer, you definitely have to prove yourself in the industry.
Yeah.
Definitely. So
Like every time you
every
step
time.
into the batter's box, like
Absolutely, because you can do 1,000 good scenes. You do one bad one, they're gonna talk about that one bad one you've done. So the pressure is always on, especially when you've built a name
yeah,
and they know what to expect from you. If you're a 50-50 guy, then they know you can have a good day or a bad day.
Yeah.
But if you're like a A-list performer,
Yeah.
they expect you to be game on every time,
Yeah.
and that's why you can't afford a bad scene.
I have to give you the ultimate compliment that I can give a guy in porn. And I said this to Lex before. I think a great male performer can make a good scene out of anything. Because really, if the girl doesn't like it, you can still make a good scene out of it and show what a bitch she is about it. And you can still make that part of the scene like, okay, bitch, I'm going to put it down on
Right.
this. Anyway, you can make a scene out of anything. I've never seen weak scenes of yours. And I think a good male
Thank you.
star makes any scene good. You can't just
Yeah.
have a beautiful woman. If the guy is weak, no matter how, I've seen scenes where the girl's so hot, I can't wait to see the scene. And I'm like, wow, really? He's got to hold the base of his cock the whole time? That's not, you know what I mean?
totally agree.
So the guy has to.
They can really make the girl look good.
They do.
And yeah.
You have to have, if you don't have a strong male in the scene
Yeah.
is shit.
It's
you
harder.
cannot salvage anything about that scene if the guy
It's
isn't good.
definitely a lot harder for the girl. Yeah.
And you put it down.
Yeah,
Thank
you
you.
do.
I mean, like in every
I
every
I
scene,
remember one of my
everything.
first scenes, him telling me back, like 3 years ago,
Right.
you're like, just don't think about how much time, just go in and enjoy it and do it. And before you know it, the whole thing will just be.
And it went by so
yeah,
quick.
It
We
did.
had a great time.
And it,
well,
yeah.
not too quick though.
Not
You know
too
what I'm saying?
quick.
If it's good, you'd be like, oh God, dude, what?
Right.
Yeah.
Oh man. Even on my own
But-
shit, when I was shooting you the other day, I was like, yo, damn, we got enough footage.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
can't
We
believe
got
how,
enough footage.
like, when you told me how much time that was, I was like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you're having fun.
Yeah.
It definitely
We went
goes
straight
by.
through, yeah.
You know, I don't know. One of the things I like to really just get into is what people feel about the politics of the industry. Over the last 2 years, we've had a very tremendous influx of outsiders looking to change the the topography, if you will, of the industry. And do you feel that the condom mandate this is a fight that's been going on for a number of years? Certainly not throughout your career. It's always been on the battlefield. Is the condom initiative, is that something that do you feel would benefit ourselves as performers, or would it, have a negative impact on performers?
My bachelor is in mass communication, so I'm all about freedom of expression, free speech, and our right to choose. So I mean, I haven't had any issues. I don't think it's affected me in any big way that I've noticed, but I definitely think that it's our right to choose if we want to or not. That's just like, someone can't come up to you and tell you what you can do with your body, certainly not the government. So I'm definitely, I think the condom thing is kind of BS.
I tend to support what Christy just said, and I think it is kind of BS, and I think what we do in the industry as far as testing goes is very safe. It's been proven to work for many, many years, and I feel totally comfortable with the testing protocols that we have, and I think that
if someone
safe enough.
If someone wants to use a condom, that's in a scene, that's certainly their choice. I'm not going to take that away from them, but if we don't want to, that's what our country is based on, is freedom of expression, freedom of,
all right. We'll take a call right now. Hello, caller. You still there? This is the Lex Live Show. You're live. Talk to us. I think we lost the call there. We'll get to them if they call back. Well, the thing is if they implement a condom mandatory law of some sort, statewide, LA County broadening it to statewide, possibly broadening into Vegas. The problem is it would make superficial the necessity for a test. If everybody's got to wear a condom, then they could make superficial having to go get tests, and the test is the strongest web that has been created in terms of cross-referencing people's viability. I think it's the same caller that called in. Let's try it again. Hello, caller. This is Lex Steele live on Lex Steele Live. Talk to us.
Hey, hi everyone. How's it going?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
What up?
Yeah, cool.
Who that?
I had
Who's that on this line?
my name is Sheikh, and I'm calling from Illinois.
The Midwest.
Illinois. Yo, bro, you got like a 202 number, son.
Yeah, I went to school in D.C.
Where'd you go to school in D.C.?
Howard University.
No doubt. I spent 3 years or 2 years at Morehouse, and I switched up, transferred, and finished at Syracuse. My father went to Howard for 3 years.
Morehouse is beautiful. I played a pool tournament up there a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Man, well, the campus is nice, but you know how it is when you go off campus, and you know this at Howard certainly enough. You go off campus at Morehouse, you go off campus at Howard, maybe a block or two. You want to go back on campus, you know what I'm saying? You know? What's up, caller? Talk to us.
You should see how it looks now. There's a muffin shop.
Yeah.
Like a couple of blocks away.
No
things
doubt.
Things are so different now. It's crazy how things have changed so quickly.
No doubt. So what's up, bro? We got some guests in the house?
I had a question for Christy.
What's up?
I noticed you changed from LA Direct to OC Modeling. How recent was that, and what was the reason for the decision?
I switched agencies a year ago. It's been just a little over a year. And the reason for that was my contract with LA Direct was up, and I just felt like we were both moving in different directions. LA Direct wanted to focus more on feature dancing, and I still wanted to focus on film, having already been a stripper for 6 years in college. So I was a little burnt out on that.
Been there, done that.
Yeah, so it was just a difference of opinion, direction, and I'm loving OC. Yeah, I've been with them a little over a year now, and they're great. I have no complaints.
No doubt.
They've been really good
That's
to
cool.
me. Yeah.
Have you shot with Lex before?
Well, now we've done actually two, right?
Yes. Do you remember the other one yet?
The first one was it? Who was it? It was either with Jules or was it with Jim Camp?
No, West Coast.
Really? The first one was for West Coast?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we shot most recently for Lexington Steele Productions, and that was, I was like, that was great.
Lex's POV.
Yeah.
Evil Angel.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
It was a very good one. I love POVs, you know, but so we have shot something. I'm sitting here about to jump over this table.
I know. See,
You know what I'm saying? We got
you're
exercise
eyeing her
our
like a
disciplines
ribeye.
here. Like ribeye steak, you know, like that new Carl's Jr.
Grand Slam.
Double jalapeno barbecue bacon double $6 burger.
$7 burger.
Word up.
When are you releasing that you shot the other day?
That POV realistically will drop probably June. Probably be a June release. We haven't decided the June release calendar yet, but it'll be on the June calendar.
So get the tissues and the jergens ready.
Yeah.
Is it an anal scene?
No. You know what? I never do anal in my POVs.
Do you do anal, Christy?
I do anal.
Nice.
And we talked about shooting a non-POV scene, so.
I want you free-handed when we do
Yeah, I want to do anal.
Brings back memories.
Now, John, you do POVs as well, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Be brave.
Now,
Steal
when you're
yourself.
doing in your POVs, do you ever do anal in your POVs?
Yes.
Okay, you do. Okay.
Yes.
So
and-
call or anything else, buddy?
So yeah, Lex, are you gonna get her back for a regular good old anal scene?
I would like to, and the thing is when we do schedule something together, Chrissy, it'll definitely be if she chooses to anal. I would love to do an anal scene with her. I can't say when, but we've talked about it.
Yeah.
So she's down, I think.
Anytime.
Wow.
So this one's on you, Lex.
Yay. Okay, I can make those things happen. So, you know, we have to get that
Excellent.
going. Yeah,
All right,
man. All right, bro. Thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks for calling.
So what we were saying earlier about the Vegas thing, you know, if it was to happen that companies would have to begin producing outside of the state of California, it's already happening. We've had Naughty America, I believe, is it Brazzers or Bang Bros that's situated out of Vegas?
It won't last.
What do you mean it won't last as far as
I sound like
people,
such a pessimist, but
people will return to LA?
Vegas
or
always wins. Whether you're there to gamble, whatever happens, you might think you got a little. Vegas gets a lot. Vegas gets their cut of the whorehouses in the middle of nowhere, and you have to be 1,000,000 miles.
So what are you saying though? You're saying
so I'm
that
saying Vegas is never going to say, "Fine, you didn't want to adhere to the restrictions in LA. Sure, come here. We're not going to take taxes. You don't have to do anything. Do whatever." You know that they don't even really welcome porn stars in the hotels if it isn't a convention going on. Vegas is kind of a Bible Belt place, and it's very restrictive. Dennis Hoff and the Bunny Ranch, those people, they're not going to just say, "Fine, everyone can come here and do porn." They've already, they have to play the game. So I think Vegas is going to wait, and when people go there, they're going to say, "Okay, great. Now here are the rules," and they're going to have their hand out.
I understand that. I just think that with the powerful companies that have already supplanted themselves to Vegas, it'll provide a foundation for other smaller companies that are less powerful.
But
to
the
come in
powerful
under their
companies
umbrellas.
have money and attorneys to fight it, but that also means they can be fined and fined
Right.
heavily.
Well, I think Naughty America, Bang Bros, and what's the other one that's already out there?
Brazzers.
So it's Bang
And
Bros or
Kink
Brazzers?
has moved out. Peter Ackworth with with Kink.com.
So you're
has
saying
moved.
Kink?
They're in
Kink is
Vegas.
relocated to Vegas
Yeah.
from San Francisco?
Yeah, they have a
You
big
work for Kink all the time.
Yeah,
so-
I do. I don't think they have quite yet. I heard them talking about it, maybe getting.
He showed pictures of the place he wanted
Really?
to get it there.
So
and-
maybe
No,
they did.
they still got the Armory though, right?
Yeah, I mean, I still shoot at the Armory only. I've never shot in Vegas for them, but I've heard stories that they might start shooting over there. I don't know when. Maybe they already got a studio
He's
over
been
there.
so vocal about it.
Wow.
Yeah,
He's
I
been
mean,
under fire though. The owner of Kink he's been a stalwart for the industry, given the amount of conflict that's directed towards him. But by certainly enough, if you look at what they produce, it does bring a lot of heat onto that company because of what they shoot.
The industry's always had that person. That was Max Hardcore before. They always have that company or that person. That's out
But I
there
think
that
he
they
takes
blame
it.
for the.
If only by way of a different direction, they do take it to levels. Have you ever worked for Kink?
Oh yes, John and I have actually.
Oh, wait.
For Kink.
What did you shot for Kink?
What?
Like, what did you?
What was the website that we did?
We did sex and submission.
Yeah, sex
Yeah?
and submission.
Wow, you're
It was-
brave.
Thanks.
Yo,
You look so sweet and innocent.
You know what?
You're
Yeah,
a very tough
and this
girl.
always happens. And people, I said this before on the show.
Unexpected.
Yo, when I book girls from now on, I'm gonna ask the agents, have they worked for Kink yet? And that way I know what the deal is, because John, you'll attest to this too, right? You know, girls that, like, when you're working with them, they're like, oh God, that hurts, and then you find out they work for Kink and they had a fucking truck drive up their ass, right, at 100 miles an hour. So, Christy, if I knew you were, now that I know you've worked for, I know that you could take
Said
I worked
that
for them
before you
quite
get
a
fucked in
bit.
the ass.
quite a bit. So, let me tell you something.
No. Oh shit.
You know, the title, my release today, or the month for my second release in the month of April, is Lex Steele's Booty Beauties, and it is available today, right? Releasing today. Now, when I come around to shoot this wonderful female here, Miss Chrissy Stevens, we are going to do an anal, and I'm going to be rest assured that I remember that
no.
she is shot for Kink.
Christy, I think your
Yes.
anal just turned into a DP with Manuel.
No, it's not going to be. It's still going to be a one-on-one.
Or
It's going to be
John.
free-handed and anal.
And John.
Yeah, there we go.
I want to see Chrissy like just, you know what I'm
And
saying?
I would love
Perry.
that.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what? Do we need
knows?
to?
Oh,
I mean, you know, we might have to get some practice in. I mean, it. Sometimes you have to take some, you know,
It is
pregame warm up.
420. Yeah.
I heard that there
might get
is a
cracked.
director that sends a kit out.
That's Evil Angel, the anal kit.
I didn't want to. Yeah.
I won't say the director, but
No,
yeah,
you can't.
I
Can we?
have the Evil
Yeah, who-
Angel
I heard
kit.
Adriano sends
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
the training
A
kit.
preparatory,
And one
really?
day-
So what is it? I'm, you know, what is it?
See, I haven't done
There-
it. I can't take a baseball bat up my ass.
I've never taken a baseball bat.
You haven't?
Yet, but
Yeah.
I've been fisted. Just
Mm-hmm.
the girl kink sites. But it's just a dilator set,
Mm-hmm.
and he gives it to you before you do a scene with him.
Did you
And
get-
you have to
get it
get the
sent-
biggest one up there. And if you can't get the biggest plug up, then he's like basically like, "Okay, we shouldn't shoot the scene because my dick's
Wow.
about that big." Just in preparation for.
Now I haven't seen Mike
Yeah.
in that way, so I can't draw a comparison. But literally, you have to prepare. He spends money on a kit, and literally gets it to the girl in advance.
Well, it was his PM that gave it to me, so
Right,
I
right.
don't know if it's him
mean,
exactly doing it. But
It's probably
I
coming
heard
out.
they
Rest
get
assured, it's
sent
coming out of
out
his
and
pocket.
given out before, like to the
Yeah.
girls that he's interested in
Yeah.
shooting, and they get the kit.
I still use it to prep for anal scenes.
Ah.
It starts out really small, and then you just slowly get bigger. So
And
that way,
how does it work? Is it like a pump?
no,
or-
it's like individual butt plugs.
Okay.
But it's just like dilators, like start out small to big.
A
There's about
series.
5 of them.
Okay.
Yeah, and you just kind of put them in.
Now I know of some girls that said that in preparation they can actually sleep with a plug.
Oh,
Is that you ever do that?
I'm no
or-
Amy Brooke.
I mean,
Wow.
But some, yeah, I have. Have you ever slept? I haven't slept
No,
with
you
them.
take- you make
No,
sure, yeah.
I do it during the day or nighttime, but
That's the
I don't like
first
to
I've
sleep
heard
with
of
them.
that.
And yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I'm amazed. I feel so old. I'm like,
No, I mean,
wow,
whatever.
where have I been that people are sleeping with butt plugs in?
yeah. I mean, Yeah.
I'll spend a couple hours at night before bed doing it, but I won't sleep with it in.
okay.
I like to rest it a little bit before.
Do you feel more nervous before like a hardcore anal scene than you do before just a straight
You're
boy
talking
girl?
to your mic.
I wouldn't
Def.
say nervous, but yeah, there's definitely more like energy, like intenseness, because you don't eat that day, so it's just more prep, more mental energy that goes into it. Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's a reason you get paid more for anal
Yeah.
scenes.
Sure.
It's more prep, you can't eat.
Had that been something that you did in your personal life, or it's something that occurred once in a
I
video?
mean, I had the one drunk with the ex-boyfriend in college that
Did it slip?
didn't feel
Did
good.
it, like,
Yeah.
Oh
Just a tip.
no, the slip.
Yeah.
Yeah, the slip.
But
Oh.
I didn't really start doing anal until I got into the industry. And, you know, my first time was on camera, and I loved it.
Like, literally, the first time I actually did it and were doing it was on
like
camera.
a real, and I come so hard, too, from it, so.
Was it their suggestion or yours? Did you go
Mine.
into it knowing you were going to do
I said I want to do my first anal scene,
Lex is going crazy.
No, I'm not. You know, no. And honestly, and John, you'll concur with me on this. When back, and I keep saying back in the day, but hey, it's been 17 years ago. There used to be a time when, like, if anal occurred, anal could literally occur where it wasn't such a dramatic thing. Like, okay, it is an anal scene, and this one isn't. You could be doing a regular boy-girl scene or 2-in-1, and literally. It could be words may not even be spoken. You could literally look at the girl and then look at her like, "Is it good?" And she'll look back and be like, "Yeah, do
Hell
it."
yeah.
And the next thing you know, it's an anal scene. Now, if that was to happen, it'd be like, "Hold up, cut." There would have to be the calling of an agent. There'd have to be a renegotiating of the rate.
Say that cameras have changed since then too.
You're saying that what?
Cameras have changed since then too. So I think the HD camera may be a part of that. I don't know. I'll let John finish answering, but it's different now because, you know, with the HD camera, if there's even a little bit showing, you know, you have to cut.
I don't know. I mean,
so maybe that's part of that change.
Because it's always been a case, you know, shit happens. I mean, pardon the pun, right? So it's the notion that these things are to be expected and anticipated. So even whether it's a performer knowing that if it's an unexpected anal, that it may not be, she may not have prepped, so there might be something to look, you know, something to clean up. And even the director, the videographer knows when shooting anal that these things occur. So there's always, and as we know, there's always paper towels available.
Baby wipes.
Right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, has it ever just happened on film?
Oh, no, come on.
Christine? No. What? Has it ever just happened?
No.
Okay.
I've always gone in
So
knowing whether it was a boy, girl, or
now,
an
so
anal.
what happens if it's real hot scene?
I'll let like a finger go in.
Who's your favorite dude to work with?
You and John.
Don't say present company exclusive. Excluded. Present company excluded. No, I know. I'm not going to push you to these traps. I'm saying, like, who's your favorite guy?
That's like asking who's your. That's not a fair.
You can never.
No, it is a fair question.
That.
I can tell you. I'm sure you can too.
Before, and you wouldn't even tell me. You said it was a no-win.
No, I can tell you. You know something. I have no problem saying who's my favorite. Black girl, blonde girl, Latina girl, you name it. I'm sure John will tell. Who's your favorite dude?
You'd have to give me a list, and I would have to go down because there's so many great male performers that I love to work with. Okay. So if you give me that list, and I'll point out and tell you my favorite ones.
There's a guy that you're working with, right? And you're in that. You know, sometimes there's moments where you're really engrossed into the sex, and it's almost genuine. Okay, I mean. If it happened, would you be like, hey, let's do it, or would you be like, hey, back off of that?
What happened?
If maybe the moment for anal was perfect.
When it was just time to go there.
Like
there's that Rocco Siffredi's kind of scene.
And then you're right at that moment, he's like, oh, I want to put it in your, and you're like, you know what, do me in my ass. Some girls might have a second thought. Some girls might be like, you know. So where do you lie on that?
Well, I mean, I'm not. It would have to be in that moment.
Yeah.
So you never know.
Isn't part of that the director? Like, if you know the director's cool, you know you can just take it there and go into that scene, and the director's not going to screw you over. Yeah. But who wants to go all out and
as
have
performers,
a scene
we
like
can
that
agree that if you have to be familiar in some ways. If you are familiar with the director you're shooting for, you know that if things happen, that he's got to cover it. Right. And that could be some of the things that provide a speed bump when you're unsure as to whether I do it? Am I going to get compensated? Because as dudes, as guys, we're not paid any different whether it happens or not. We're still paid the same check, right? So a lot of times we're like, hey, it's totally up to you. You know,
sadly, there are directors as wonderful as so many are. I think there are some that would be. My first DP scene, I had my check bounced by a very well-known director in a big company. Oh. So sadly, there is bullshit.
Right.
Yeah.
There's always a couple where, you know, and so it'd be great if you could just know the director had your back.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. If I knew that the director would have me covered, then yeah, I would say I would definitely be open to that. Yeah.
Nice.
That was a good answer.
No. And you know, hey, these are things. There's a business side to all this, and You know, and this in terms of the enterprise of the business, you know, when Adriano sends out that kit, why doesn't he should make a Michael Adriano kit and commercialize it, right? But how's it arrive? It's already a pre-packaging or something he can tell they put it together?
Package.
It's already in a package.
Yeah, and it says Evil Angel on it. It's just a black.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess Evil already commercialized.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you, John, made a fake dick?
Yeah,
or a
you
sex?
could probably get that.
You know what?
Yeah.
Not yet. I've been
the
in
Evil
talks
Angel
with some
kits.
companies,
You
but we haven't come to terms yet. So
What do they do? Do you put your dick in a mold? Is that
yeah,
what
they
want
make a
you to do?
mold. Yeah.
Oh,
See, I would get one and fuck it. I would love
Great.
one of your fake dicks.
Thank you.
Are you? Is that in the works?
Well, it might be. I mean, I'm in negotiations. So if we reach an agreement, then maybe soon. If not, then we'll have to see for future.
Do you enjoy the business side of things like that? And now,
Absolutely.
Do you like that more than performing, or did you ever think is
No.
it performing before? That
I'll be honest, though. I love performing. I love women. I'd say probably that's one of my only addictions. You know, I have no addictions at all. No alcohol, no drug addiction, no gambling.
No vice.
just pussy.
Just pussy. Yes.
And
So do you like directing your own scenes, or is it more relaxing to perform in someone else's scene?
You know what? It depends. I mean, I love to do both. And, you know, on my sets, I think I make it very at ease and as relaxing as possible because I'm a performer myself. So I know I want to make the performers as comfortable as possible because I want the best scene. I want them to be comfortable. And that way you get the best energy out of people. So, you know, of course, casting is very important to put, you know, the right people together, an aspect of it. So, I mean, I enjoy it all, but performing to me is definitely
Well, you know, John, and I almost called you by your real name, but like, you're actually one of the best videographers in the business, and you also have a reputation. And this is along the line with Devin, what you guys were talking about. You also have a reputation that precedes you as a videographer. Do you find that with the way porno is being shot now, is it better? You know, obviously the cameras have gotten better over the years. How do you feel as a videographer? Do you feel that the way people are shooting has gotten better or has regressed? Because in my opinion, I think that some of the videography has regressed commensurate to the increased technology of the cameras.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I definitely think so. I think definitely the way to shoot best sex and gonzo is the way we used to do it.
Right.
You know, back in the
Early
day.
2000s and
Yes,
so forth. Yeah.
and I think John Stagliano pioneered that
Right.
style, and which is the best thing that ever happened to porno, I think, where, you know, you take the camera in your hand and you really bring the viewer right in there by
Right.
going as close as possible and getting different angles and everything. And because in sex, there's so many different things happening, and, you know, like you can be here and then all of a sudden you got to go right there to capture the girl's facial reaction.
Yep.
That's going to be there for like 5-10 seconds, and if you miss it, it's gone.
Yeah.
So, you know, like, that's why you got to be right there with the camera.
It's like with the better the camera, the more static the shots have become.
Right.
You know, and the other day I was like, even on my own stuff, with my business partner, the way we shoot, the lights are so much closer now because of the quality of the camera is great, but it requires a closer camera. Whereas the cameras in where we shot before, maybe, you know, years ago, within the last 10 years, certainly enough, but you didn't require the lights being so, you didn't feel like the lights were right up on top of the talent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it allowed us to be a lot more free flowing.
A lot of natural daylight.
Natural
shooting,
daylight.
too.
Now natural daylight's almost a dinosaur. It's almost unheard of for natural daylight. We do have a call coming in. Let's take one more call as we get prepared to close out the evening. Hello, call. This is Lex Steele Live. Talk to us.
Hey, what's up, Lex?
What up?
All right. Hey, how is everybody else doing?
Hello.
Great,
hello.
thank you.
Good.
All right, Devin. It has been such a long time since I've seen you. What have you been up to, beautiful?
Who am I speaking with?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Curtis. I'm from Atlanta.
Curtis from Atlanta. You have a radio voice,
Yeah.
Curtis from Atlanta. I've been around. You know, I haven't done a ton of scenes, but I've been around for a lot of years. I'm 42 now, so I've been lurking, perving out, you know. But I haven't gone anywhere. The lurker.
Good. Cool. I miss seeing you. I remember some of the things you did in the past, and you got me through some lonely nights. So.
Yeah. Okay. Now remember Devin's tan. Remember the way Devin used to wear the tan lines, where she would get her skin really dark and then leave her booty and her breasts like her complexion as it is right now. But Devin and Curtis, you'll also agree with him, right? Remember when Devin, you used to get your skin almost, not as dark as mine, but you used to get your skin crazy dark, and then she'd have that her complexion right now on her titties and her ass. That was hot. And then with her hair, your pussy hair, you had your pussy groomed perfectly. Like a hot dog bun.
Beautiful titties.
No, I'm reminiscing with my caller.
You know,
what?
Now I'm afraid of the sun as much because I don't want to get skin cancer.
Yeah.
But I still use a bunch of bronzer and self-tanner stuff. I try to. I like my skin to be as dark as possible. I just always have. But
titties,
I know. But I do. I put it all over now, so I don't have the tan lines I did before. But one of your esteemed colleagues started a line because he was a fan of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you
Kevin
in
told me
particular.
that. Yeah, Kevin told me that's what inspired him to start tan lines. So people, I feel bad. They remember the tan lines, and I don't have
striking, right, caller? What do you think, Chris? Was it striking or what?
I mean, it's beautiful, man. That made you stand out, Devin. I'm telling you.
Well, thank you. I'm glad I could stand out when I was laying down.
Oh, nothing. Lex, you asked me. I called episodes before. You asked me about Magic City. Yeah, it's still open, and they actually still shoot videos down there too.
No
You
doubt.
gotta go to King of Diamonds.
Yeah, is there King of Diamonds?
Is where it's
what's hot in Atlanta now?
No, that's in Miami.
Now,
King of Diamonds.
I think that's the one in Florida.
In Miami, but in Atlanta, Magic City was there when I was at Morehouse. This is back in
Cheetah
like
and Magic City were the
89.
ones. Yeah.
What's hot in Atlanta now, though?
Magic City. That's
it's
still.
It's always going to be
okay.
Popping off at Magic City.
They still popping over there. They still shoot videos over there.
Yeah,
I think
Magic
Lex
City
needs
is like
to go
a
to a show
great
there.
club in Atlanta where like the booty shaking was crazy before like
They
it
started
became commercially.
They started it
like
even
booty
in
shaking.
Miami.
That's where it was all the way.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah, with King of Diamonds and everything that's going on now at the strip clubs, it all started from Magic City.
Well, it's sort of other
And
cities
Cheetah,
probably.
But the Magic City was like, if you
The
were a
one-
hot black girl and you could really throw down on stage and you were about it, you would be at Magic City.
Yeah, and then with the pole action, with the bodies of those girls and still with the pole stuff is incredible.
But King of Diamonds has taken over now with the pole stuff.
In Atlanta?
In Miami, but as far as being the premier
Miami,
black
yeah,
club,
that's right,
King of
Miami.
Diamonds is crazy.
Now, Chrissy, you dance as well, huh?
I did, yeah.
You did. Now, were you a pole dancer or were you a booty shaker? What was your thing?
D, all the above.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. When I was newer, I was all about the pole
Yeah.
and the booty shaking. And then I learned, a little more one-on-one time.
Yeah.
Like, individually is really how you make the money.
Oh, no doubt.
So, as I got,
The pole is so fascinating.
It was fun, though. It was always fun for me.
Yeah. What girls can do, women can do on that pole. Is
When I was 19, I was up there swinging on the top of it. Yeah.
Wow.
Getting it.
I haven't stripped for over 20 years.
Yeah.
But I did it too.
Yeah.
Was the pole action?
Everybody did. Everyone. I think back in the day, especially all of us, got into porn after being strippers.
Yeah.
Well,
All
Curtis, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still with you. I'm just
Thank you
listening.
so much. And speaking of the poll, I'm glad
before
that.
I go, hey, Lex, you did an episode back then with Kayla Carrera. It never uploaded.
Oh, really?
To YouTube. So could you upload that to YouTube?
Okay. The scene with Kiara Mia?
No, I think it's Kayla Carrera.
Kayla Carrera.
Oh.
That was recently, within the last month. So you're saying that did not make it onto YouTube?
Yeah, it's March 9th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll definitely look into that. We'll get that up there within the week. Appreciate that.
All right. Nice talking to you.
Thank you, Curtis.
All right, bro. Take care, man. We do have a caller
All right.
that's been on hold. Let's see if we can get over to that caller before we get out of here. Hello, caller. Thanks for holding. This is Lex Live. Talk to us.
Hi, Lex. Hi, Devin. How are you both doing tonight? Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Good evening. What's up, man?
Not much. Devin, I think you're absolutely beautiful and amazing. I have pictures of you in in magazines, and I have a couple of videos of yours, and you're absolutely...
Did we lose you?
Oh.
Thank you.
Oh,
I'm just a great fan of yours and think you're the best. And I wanted to ask you, what is one of your favorite scenes in one of your movies?
Well, the man is right here. I think both of my Lex scenes were great, and it's funny that that's kind of our names are inextricably
the Top
linked
Guns
that way. Yeah,
and the Lex Steele Triple X.
Yeah,
I don't remember. Was it's an early volume?
I think it was it was in '04.
Yeah,
but those are the two scenes that people mentioned to me the most, and that they were fun scenes. So I would say those two.
Yeah, no, I'm just,
and
I
just really do mean
like,
it, not just because I'm here with them.
No,
glad you
that
enjoyed.
was that ranks very high with me as well.
Ah.
Can I ask one more question?
Of course, Cole. Go ahead, right ahead.
Thank you. If you could have one fantasy with someone you haven't done a scene with, who would it be with?
Well, who are you asking?
For you.
Oh, if I have someone I have not worked with. Well, am I lying? Lex, who did I say I wanted to work with?
John?
I did. And I said that long ago, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had always wanted to work with John.
No, it's funny because when I told her that you were the guest tonight, she was like, oh, because she's watched, she's well aware of what you've done.
Right.
I'm a porn
and
fan.
She oftentimes, when we talk, she'll bust on.
Don't say it.
I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it live. Devin likes to imitate the dudes that she watches, right? So I was like, well, do me. And so she did me. And I was like, well, and she was like, I love listening to John talk because he talks so much because she loves your accent.
Oh, okay.
So then I said, well, then do John. And she did you. I was like, yo, that's John.
That's great. Well, thank you. I'm flattered. I'd love to do a scene with you, too. Maybe we could make that happen one day, huh?
No, but you know what's cool, though? What's cool is, and as guys, when women speak with accents, it turns us on crazy. And it's great to know that it works the same way. Now, have you found that when you talk to certain girls, do you ever really lift up your accent, or
you know what? I don't really try to. I guess it depends. I mean, sometimes it comes out stronger than other times, but I've definitely had some compliments from girls like an accent. Say, don't ever lose your accent. I love your accent.
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
It's very subtle.
Yeah.
I've heard it come out.
Yeah.
Now, have you ever started speaking, in foreign languages with the girl that you knew spoke your other language as well?
Yes.
That would be dope.
Yes.
I like to have seen that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. You're sitting there like, I don't know what the fuck they're saying, but it sounds dope because both of you guys will be doing it,
With the Latin girls, the directors are always like, say something. They could be going through the grocery list, but the director's telling them, say it.
And they know the the word to end all scenes is poppy.
Poppy. Ay, papi.
Caller, got anything else for the panel?
I just want to say thank you for taking my call, and you're always beautiful and you're always fantastic, and everybody keep up the great work.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, man.
Wonderful. Thank you. Have a great
Appreciate
night.
Have a good one.
Anytime. Have a great evening.
All right, bro.
You too.
You too.
Yeah, so it's I want to make sure that as we prepare to exit this evening, if we could
Ready to
go
pull
around
out.
the table.
We're getting ready to pull out.
We're going to roll out in momentarily in a few minutes, but I want to make sure that everyone gets a chance to reiterate our social media platform, beginning with you, Devin.
Devin DeRay 1 at Twitter only, no Facebook.
At John Strong on Twitter. That's John with two N's, JOHNNSTRONG. And I'm also on Facebook, just John Strong.
All right, and I'm on Instagram and Twitter at I Love Christie. That's ILUVCHRISTIE.
Well, you can get me at LexSteele11 on Twitter and Lexington.Steele on Instagram. It is 4:20 once again, people. It's about 9 o'clock Pacific. So I have 3 more hours to enjoy some fine Southern Californian cannabis. I am a card-holding member, so I can partake in these celebrations that are going to partake within the next 3 hours.
Well, it's not a celebration for you. I mean, you have the glaucoma and the lower back issue.
I don't have anything.
Oh, okay, I'm kidding.
I smoke. I smoke because I smoke it. So having released today on April 20th is Lex Steele's Booty Beauties, releasing by way of Evil Angel. You can buy that and check that out on evilangels.com as well as lexingtonsteele.com or any of your pay sites, if you will. And thank you for accessing by way of pay site. We do appreciate that. We'll be right back here next Monday. We do hope you join us. We do appreciate the fact you've chosen to spend your evening here on the Lex Steele Live show. For all the good people here on Lex Steele Live, I want to thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
We'll see you next
Have
week.
a good night.
Peace.
You're listening to Lexington Steele Live with Lexington Steele and Gianna Michaels. Right here on LA Talk Radio.